Today we have a very interesting show for you, Muslims in the Arts. A lot of people are aware of the past extensive history of Muslims in the arts of Islam, but a lot of people don't know about the contemporary arts which Muslims are involved with. So today we're going to be talking about that subject. Let me introduce our panel today. On my right is Sister Iman Tai, who is the director of the Calligraphy of Thought, which is a group of spoken word artists and poets. And also Sister Zakia Pathan, who is also a co-founder of Revival Arts. And they do handmade etchings and create candles and stuff like that. On my left is Brother Zaki Hassan, who is a frequent guest of the Muslim Roundtable show. He's an expert in the arts and media field, and he's a filmmaker, originally from Chicago. Welcome, salam, from Mr. Boy Productions. And also we have Brother Khalil Bendib, who is a political cartoonist and also an artist. And also, I just want to start off the discussion about why do you think it's important for Muslims to be involved in the arts? Anyone has any comments about that?
In this day and age, and just in every day and age, I mean, Muslims have always been involved, not only in the arts, but in every aspect of culture. They've always been at the forefront. And the idea that Muslims aren't holding up the flag now and really being the standard bearers is, I think, an aberration in our present day as opposed to our long history. So really, it's a matter of us reclaiming something that we had in the past and we really should have in the future.
Okay, Brother Khalil, why do you think Muslims are not that much involved in the arts as they used to be in the past?
Well, I think we are. It's just that there's a perception that we're not. And part of that problem is our general problem of being misperceived and misunderstood in this country, definitely, as people who are very unidimensional and flat and just the other, you know, the strange ones. So if you just scratch the surface, you'll find that just like any other community, we have our own artists and our own writers and our own poets, etc., etc.
That brings to poetry. Sister Iman, why do you think it's important for Muslims to be involved in the arts?
Well, I think art is a way that all people connect to their spiritual nature. And in Islam, a huge part of our daily existence. So if you can find a way to express yourself and express what's going on inside of you through art, then you're a lot less apt to act out aggressively in other ways. So I think that that misperception that Muslims are not involved in arts actually creates that mindset within Muslims too, that we are not artists or that we shouldn't be involved in the arts, and that's not necessarily an appropriate avenue for our expression. So I think it's important for us to get out there and show them that the arts was part of our history and is part of our contemporary discourse with the world.
Well, I think that Islam encourages us to really be involved in how we grow and how we, like you said, express ourselves. And so being involved in art is really important, and it is there. It's just not as apparent as people think it is.
Do you think it's important more now after 9/11 for Muslims to express themselves?
Yeah, I think it's more important than ever, but it's always been there. It's just that maybe it's partly a problem of propaganda that we have been portrayed a certain way. Maybe it's lack of historical knowledge and culture on the part of the society at large, because they have been influenced by Islamic art in many different ways and throughout history, but they're not necessarily aware of it. In the decorative arts, for example, there's so many things that come straight from our Islamic tradition that people love and they don't even know where they come from. So in so many ways, even in the thoughts and the culture, and I mean, the Islamic realm has influenced the West and vice versa now, but it can't really be denied that we're there consciously or subconsciously.
Brother Zaki, you think more Muslims should be studying the arts?
I think it's cool. The truth is that, you know, just the people that I've encountered have kind of put themselves in a mindset where they say, well, the arts aren't going to pay off for me financially, you know, where's the security, etc. And really that's become a millstone. And I wouldn't even say around Muslim necks, but around a lot of people in this day and age. But I think really if you have a passion for it and if you see a need for it and you have that desire, I think it's really important to pursue that, because in this day and age, Muslims don't have a voice that really, I mean, like, for example, this show is serving a function of showing that Muslims have this multitude of voices and they are educated in this and that. And, you know, we really have no mechanism with which to combat, you know, what Brother Khalil was talking about, this kind of propaganda machine where, you know, we're sort of painted into a corner. You know, we have to paint ourselves out of that corner.
Okay. Why do you think, Sister Zakiya, that many Muslim students are studying engineering or medicine, and a lot of parents are talking about that? But before you answer that question, actually, we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we're going to show a little bit about some of the artwork that we have here from our Muslim artists that we have today, and we're going to be showing you some samples of their work, and hopefully you'll return to the Muslim Roundtable. Please stay tuned. Come back to us. Thank you. And we were just talking about why a lot of parents, they tell their kids, specifically Muslims we're talking about, but I think in general, most people tell their kids to be doctors or engineers and scientists. And why do you think that is, and why do you think we Muslims should try to get out of that, Sister Zakiya?
Well, a lot of people are stuck in thinking about this dunya and revolving their lives around going to work, taking care of their family, being able to support, you know, that's the main thing, being independent. But in actuality, in Islam, Islam is a way of life. So because it's a way of life, we should be fostering in the kids things like the arts, music, drama.
I think internationally as a community, most of us come from a time where our countries were subjugated to a colonial empire. And so collectively we've known this time where things were really hard, where a lot of us were starving or having a hard time making a living and all that. So that's still in our memories, and our parents and maybe our generation, when we have kids, we still have that in the background, in the back of our minds, and we're so worried about, we're so focused on leaving that material need behind us that we don't want to take chances on art and things that don't necessarily feed your kids.
But don't you think that has caused a lot of problems? Because we don't have any representation in the media. We don't have very few artists, you know, besides yourself, of course, who are published in
Well, it's happening. I think I think our generation already is making inroads. So it's just happening gradually. But it was just recently. I was born under a colonial regime in Algeria. And it's just too recent a memory for most of us to just say, hey, yeah, let's take a chance and see if the next 3 generations starve again. You know, there's that fear. And it makes us more conservative as a group, I think.
Okay, tough question.
Well, I think that people don't really recognize, or at least inside the Muslim community, they don't really understand how big of an impact they can make just by pursuing this field. I was talking to Brother Khalil before we started filming, and he mentioned that he does this, and he's not a politician, but this is his way of affecting change in people's minds, because through his work, you're educating people, and you can really enact some real change, because we don't understand, I think, as Muslims, how much impact the media has on people's lives. I mean, we all recognize that TV and things like this are important, but we don't see how much of our thoughts and our beliefs and everything else is shaped by that. And I think if we were really cognizant of that, you'd be seeing this groundswell of people getting involved, because you have the potential to enact some real change without having to be, you know, a politician or, you know, a president or a mayor or anything like that.
One of the problems is